That's it. My next girl, you gotta learn Reiki. If you don't already know Reiki, you gotta invest in learning Reiki. Hold on, let me fix my. And you could do it too, right? You could, if you have children, you could practice on your children. Make sure you wash your hands, say your little prayer to cleanse your body of all the negativity that you just consumed in the world. Wash your hands of all the sins and all the impurities and all that stuff before you put your hands on your children. Lay them in the tub of water, or lay them in the pool. Lay them in any body of water, right? Or you could just lay them down on a regular surface, right? And touch their heart, right? Touch their heart, touch their stomach, touch their crown. And you could do it more than once, but as long as you do it once, you can amplify the amount of times that you want it to be in effect, right? You can say you can do it like this once times 1,000, right? Or you can do it twice, and then you can say that times whatever number, right? And you can put that intention in your heart, put that intention in your soul, feel it, breathe, take a beautiful breath, and think about your child. Don't think about yourself. Don't think about what you want to happen. Don't think about none of that stuff, right? Just think about how you want your child to feel and to be while they come out of that little moment that you're going to be having with your child, right? And you can do it with your loved one, right? You can do it with your partners. You can do it with each other, right? People, you have prayer circles, right? You have Bible study where people hold hands and they do the same thing, right? But this is different. This is on a level where you have to be like unbendable and unchangeable by darkness and by all other forces, right? You have to really be strong and firm in yourself, and you have to really know yourself, not just believe in yourself. You have to know yourself, know your power, your potential, and what you want done. You have to be focused on your intentions. You have to focus, because if you lose your focus for 1 second, anything can happen. Any thought can intrigue and interfere and intervene, right? So you don't want that to happen. You want to wash your hands of all those impure thoughts and all those impure things, and of all the world and all the negative things that surround you, right? And all the environment, right? If you're going to think about anything, think about a garden, right? See your children running in a bushel of roses, right? And their hands are, running against the petals of the roses, and then you can see the little colorful petals. You can see pink, yellow, red, and all the petals just flying around as they run in the fields, and their hands are just, running on the top of the roses, and on top of the and on top of the the rose petals and the flowers and stuff like that, right? But you got to learn Reiki. Reiki is imperative, and it's important to anybody's development spiritually, because without regular prayer, you can't get to that advanced prayer. You can't get to that advanced warfare if you're not practicing any type of, warfare, right? And this is exactly what Katara and her grandmother and her grandparents and all her ancestors was practicing. Why they didn't want them to be fighting. They didn't want them to fight because they had the capability of practicing Reiki and healing the warriors when they came back from battle, when they were injured, when anybody had any type of sickness. That's why, even though Katara was upset, I still understand why they wanted her to learn Reiki, because while she didn't want to learn it, you saw how important and imperative, and you saw how it came in handy when Aang got struck down by the lightning, right? So it's important to learn the things you don't want to learn, because it will come in handy for the things you want to learn. You want to know how to fight, but you don't know defense, right? The first thing they teach you in boxing is how to take a punch, right? They don't teach you how to throw a punch. They teach you how to take a punch, and they teach you how to stand, and then they teach you how to dodge punches. The last thing they probably teach you is how to punch, right? So the first thing you want to learn is how to defend yourself before you go out into the spiritual world that we think is just a physical world, right? It's not just a material world. It's also a spiritual world as well. That's why it's so easy for people that's materialistic to be spiritually trapped and spiritually bound and all this other bull crap and all this con man and con woman bull crap that the world has going on and all the propaganda. So that was a little channel. Wow. I just got out of my session. So yeah, the next girl that I end up with, she got to learn Reiki. She got to know how to do Reiki. She got to know how to heal the spiritual body, which is also the astral body. She got to learn how to heal the physical body, because ain't no way a man is supposed to be going to a doctor while he has a woman that can be his nurse. We made a song for that in Trinidad. It's called Night Nurse. Look it up, right? That's a lot of songs that we made for women. So we can look at all up. We can look at all up. We appreciate and we value women in the Caribbean. I know that is the same here, but in the mainland America, it's ground zero for propaganda and mental enslavement and also indoctrination of the children of the Americas. The original people, in order for the outside world to be affected by the things being done from outside forces, it has to be done in, where the heart is, right? That's why they go, everything is aimed at the heart, right? The heart chakra is green, so they made you focus on money. I remember talking about this when I first jumped on YouTube and I was on Instagram live yelling, and all the kids was outside. It was, they was listening to me, but they was respecting what I was saying, because I was talking that truth. And that's why I say, when you decide to be the light, there's going to be a lot of darkness surrounding you. And that's when you got to decide. Not decide because you already made that choice, right? I remember telling y'all, the chosen ones, I'm not somebody that consider myself chosen. I remember saying that I made the choice. So if you're chosen and you feel like you're chosen, it's because you made a choice when you could have made the other choice, right? You know how they say you can get with this or you can get with that? Well, you one of them ones, right? And it's gonna be few. But just like how the Marines say, it's only the few, the proud. We not few and we over here struggling. We few, we over here just being an example, because we refuse to bend. We refuse to break. But we could bend to duck a punch, or we could bend to, miss an arrow or some type of attack. But when we come back, just like that rubber band, that string theory, when we come back, we ain't just coming we ain't just coming back with the force that they tried to hit us with. This force is coming from heaven, right? So imagine what goes up must come down. But they coming from the bottom, coming up. We coming from up, crashing down. And you can learn all that from Reiki, because your spiritual body is a lot stronger than your physical body. And once you learn how to heal your physical body, it makes you excited, but then you have to be realistic. That's why a lot of people get depressed, because, I can go into Disney app, or I can go on Netflix, and I can put on any show and just binge watch for hours, right? And then once the season ends and there's no more seasons to come, and that's your favorite show, you're like, damn, now I gotta find something else, right? Or find another escape, right? Find another vice, find another course of action that's gonna take your mind off of this actual reality that is wrong, but physically you don't believe your strength, and spiritually you're so strong that it's overwhelming. So you feel frustrated, you feel overwhelmed, you start to cry, you start to get depressed, you start to hate the very things that make you happy, and you start to conform, and you start to bend. And when you bend, you don't remember how strong you are to come back with a stronger hit, right? When a boxer dodges a punch, he usually comes back with a harder punch, because that dodge is setting up for a counter hit, right? It's not just a bob and a weave to get out the way. It's a setup for what I'm about to come back at you with, right? So learn Reiki, and you'll be able to bob and weave a whole bunch of spiritual shit, especially the fake spirituals, right? Because now, since we came in and we shook the block till the buildings fell, so the industry, fell apart, the whole system and the economy fell apart. Now people are more focused on what we're supposed to be focused on, spirituality. Remember, I told you in the first awakening, they brought out World War I, when we started to focus on spirituality, right? Then it was World War II. Then it was the Cold War. Then it was Vietnam, right? So every time we get into this awakening and shit start changing, and actually, you know how I say shit don't change until shit change? Now shit is actually changing because we changing shit. Now they're saying those spiritual people and your ancestors are gonna drag you to hell. When nobody said, the ancestors were anything compared to the Most High, right? We separate those levels, right? Because we know there's levels to this shit, right? And we know there's rankings to this shit, right? And once you come from once you come from creation, you know that the mother and father of creation is the all, is that which controls the all. So when people refer to Jesus, they're not referring to someone. They're not referring to the energy that decided to experience itself as the son of woman. Not just the son of man, but the son of woman, right? They're not just talking about the energy that wanted to experience life in human flesh. And the best way for that immaculate conception to be what it is today is that it was supposed to be a man coming from a woman, which is supposed to teach people that life comes from feminine energy. The feminine energy holds the masculine and the feminine energy in its energy. So that's why, we hold women to such a high standard as the people of the original, right? The people of the first son. So I'm gonna land my plane because I'm channeling right now. And when I get to channeling, people get to they're gonna nitpick this whole video, and it's alright. They're gonna get a whole bunch of ideas, and I'm gonna be once again influencing the world, which is what I plan to do, right? Like Jay-Z said, camera snapping, my eyes hurt. Niggas dying back where I was birthed. Fuck your IRS and your IRS. Get the hell up off your high horse. Nigga, you got the shit the nigga died for. Try yours, nigga. While you mad, take the kid with the bath and throw the baby out with that bath water. You still alive. I'm still that nigga living life. Still getting bigger. This nigga alive. And this nigga alive. Vanilla wafers in the villa. Michael Jackson Thriller. And baby, it's amazing I'm in this place with you. I just can't crack your code. One day you're screaming you love me loud, the next day you're so cold. One day you're here, one day you're there, one day you care. You're so unfair. I'm sipping from that cup till it runneth over. Holy grail. Holy grail. Ooh, holy grail. Ooh, don't know why.